I would be remiss, and he keeps getting brought up, but of course, Brit Turner, who passed away earlier this year. I believe it was from cancer. Is that correct?
Yeah, glioblastoma, brain cancer.
Yeah, which, my condolences. But when that happened, or even before, when it became clear that he wouldn't be able to perform with the band anymore, and you had to get a fill-in for him, I mean, I would imagine that it's got to be hard to continue or even want to continue the band when a guy that's been with you since day one is no longer here, or no longer at least a part of the project, but before the passing. So was that ever was there ever any thoughts like, well, maybe maybe we should just sit tight for a little bit, or was it like, maybe Britt said, just keep this thing rolling with or without me?
Well, he did say it, because he has a family and we're all family. And so it was pretty much agreed that, well, and Kent Arberly, who's playing drums now, he had come in and started to work with us. He was Britt's fill-in, so he became family. We've known him for years too. And I think we had all agreed, like, well, this thing it's bigger than one of us, than any one of us, so he would want it to continue. And he did, he did it until he couldn't go anymore, but he's like, he didn't want to see it stop or falter, for nothing more than the sake of his family or what we'd all worked for. So it is incredibly surreal still, because I still, it just feels like I could pick up the phone and call him. It's just so, it's weird. I know that seems ridiculous to say, but it's just hard to put into words even how odd it still feels for him to not be here, because until that happens to you, to somebody you see just so, I mean, every day I'm sitting right across from him, more than I've seen my own family in the last 20 years. So I guess if it had happened suddenly, maybe it would have been different. But since it was a drawn out thing, he still toured for another year after he was diagnosed. And when it finally did start to really take him, that all happened pretty quickly. But that time of waiting, really, it was long, and it was sad and stressful, and for no one more than him. But it was pretty joyful too, because we toured Europe and all over the U.S. So much love for him, and I think it just shows every night that we play now that people come there, and every night, we talk about him still on stage and dedicate the show to him, and people love him. They always will.
Well, one last thing on that. Obviously, Britt's brother Richard is your bass player, and when you look at various brothers throughout music history, whether it's Van Halen or Pantera or whatever, a lot of these guys refuse to perform without their brother. Or in the case of Pantera, after Dimebag was murdered, took Vinnie Paul a long time, a number of years before he wanted to get back out there. Was there, and maybe this is a better question for him, but was there ever any scenario like that with Richard, where he's like, man, I don't really know if I can do this without my brother?
Well, I asked him that, and he said he would want us to continue. He would. He would be the first one at the show, no matter what happened. And I said, I know that. And the reason this might help for anybody who wondered, they were raised by an Air Force colonel. So where that comes from is that military mindset of, I don't even know how you'd put it into words, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, do your thing, do it for your brother. You know what I mean? So he never faltered, not for a second, not like, I can't do this. I can't do it without Brit. And they are the only people that had ever played together. They always played together their entire lives. And so I have the utmost respect for Richard for being able to do it. And there are nights that it's hard. Then and he's sad, you know, and it's tough. And we stay in. It's brought us all closer together. Even when Brit was still alive, it did. You know, everybody. It had been a long time, maybe since we told each other we loved each other. You know, or because you spend that much time in a band, you could be like, oh, I'm so fucking sick of that guy. You know,
Right.
It's easy to do, but then something like this really makes you realize like a lot of stuff is trivial. You know, so anyway, it's yeah, it's I never, you know, when you sit down and think about it and think back 25 years ago, nobody saw this coming, you know. But then again, I probably didn't think we'd be together this long either.
Well, he is on the he's on the new album, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, he played all the drums on it. He hadn't been diagnosed with cancer yet then.
Is his fill-in? What would you say? Is it Kent? Is that his name?
Kent.
Is he
Kent Auberly.
Is he going to? Is he staying with you guys?
I guess, yeah. He's doing a great job. I don't know if we haven't even discussed, you know, what our plans are for the long term. But as of right now, nobody's planning to stop.